All right there. It was weird actually when what's his name? Professor Teddy Dutton. He said that my voice is up here, isn't it? And it is up here. Did you hear that? It is up here. And I told him on that show, I don't know if a lot of you turned up to that show, actually. I know there's, hang on. A minute ago, there was 5 people here. Now there's 26. Boom. I'm sure we'll get to that magic 100. I know it's early doors in the UK. I got out of bed at 1:30 today. That's all right. I mean, look, I pay my taxes. I clean my teeth. I'm doing all right. But there is still a little bit of that sort of childhood guilt of my mother and father's, going, get out and do something with your life. And also 15 years of state education, dragging you out of bed at 8 o'clock. Do you remember how hideous that was? Wonderful in the summer, but middle of February, 8 o'clock. We had one fire in our house. It was only a 2 up, 2 down, a gas fire. My old man, when my old man came home, he'd touch the walls to see if the neighbours had their central heating on. And if they did, that fire went off. So middle of February, 6 degrees centigrade. You'd wake up in bed, frost on the pillow. It wasn't that bad. I have had that when I lived in a caravan, though. Literally frost on just take that off my face. And then I'd just go downstairs in my pajamas. By this time, with just a pair of trousers and a jumper, because it was so cold, and sit in front of the fire. I kid you not, I wore a hole in it in front of the fire. I had jaundice, I had anemia, sickly child, didn't go through puberty till I was like 15. Yeah, that went down well at school. Thanks for the help, life. But so I was a wee nip of a lad. I don't know what that is, don't know what that means, but I think it conveyed the point. So there wasn't a lot of fat on me. I weighed about 5 grams. People used to use me on their balance scales to weigh off an 8 ball. I did. I jumped on it. No, that's going nowhere. But yeah, that ingrains it into you. If ever I just said, I can't go to school, I'm sick, which I was frequently with headaches, peculiar enough. And I'd be like, I can't go, and it would be horrible. It would be awful pain. And I knew I wasn't going to school. There was no way. And my mother, after a couple of years of these headaches, she'd say to me, all right, you can stay at home. And staying at home usually meant, because as soon as she said that, it was a psychosomatic headache. Because as soon as she said that, give me 5 minutes, headache's gone. And I used to feel really guilty because I wasn't lying. I was not lying. I fucking hated school. I love my mates, but the injustice, and you'll read about this in SUBSTACK, which I was up till 6 o'clock this morning writing, which is why I fell out of bed at 1:30 or whatever it was. The injustice of it, I hated it. I hate the weaponized. The weaponized hierarchy. Now, there is a hierarchy at school, obviously. There's teachers, they know more than you. I get that. They've got a job to teach you, but you don't weaponize it to take the piss out of kids. You don't weaponize it to be horrible to children. And and the teachers at my school, they tend to pick on the kids that the other kids picked on. So teachers were bullying the kids that got bullied. You'll read about it. One of the spastics in the story who got absolutely awful treatment from the other kids. And that was my hero moment. Oh yeah. I think I told the story on here a couple of months back, but it will be a pleasure to read because I'm an excellent writer. Yeah. You might have seen Will's comment. But so you've got all that, getting up early, and so it kind of instills it in you. I'm 50 years old. I can get out of bed when I want, but there is still a bit of guilt. I have got a shitload of work to do. And we're going into a potential recession. People won't have money. The likes of my e-commerce, they're not necessities. Consumer durables of the hobbyist type aren't top of the list when you're starving. And you've got news reports in England saying, stop eating. Can you stop eating, please? Feed the refugees, yeah? So my point is nothing. My point is, hello, Sir Grego. Nice to see you. Hello, Lulu. All right, Zen. Ralph, Aramas. Incredible turnout. Look at that. I know it's really early there. Really early for the cool people who, aren't up at 6 a.m. Jim was sick a lot until puberty, then still sick often until they cut your tonsils out. That's interesting. That's very interesting. They found it out. But when my headache would go, and, as soon as I got the go-ahead, I missed so much school because, I'm talking primary school. Most of my time off was for headaches was primary school, because by secondary school, if I didn't want to go to school, I just didn't go. I don't know whether it was the same for you, but we had a form class because our school was streamed 1 to 15. I mean, how does that help anyone? I was in 1 for everything. So was Mark. I think me and Mark, there was probably maybe 2 other people in the whole year that were in 1 for everything. Mark was, I was, which is why Mark's one of my best mates, because we spent 5 years sitting in classes taking the piss out of everything. But imagine being in 15. Imagine you're in 15. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think they should have mixed them, but there's better ways of dealing with it. Maybe they should have mixed them. Actually, I'll have to have a think about that. But imagine you turn up to your secondary school. You think, right, here we go, and then they dish it all out. Right, Phil. I mean, you've already been robbed from a good life by being called Phil. I mean, who wants to be called Phil? And I'm sorry to any Phils there, but I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Right, for English, you're in 15. That means you can barely speak and can't write. For maths, you're in 15. You don't know what numbers are. For combined sciences, which you've never studied because you don't do that at primary school, we've also put you in 15 because we're getting a general picture that you're thick as shit. And then once we've got maths, combined sciences and English out of the way for you, we just thought, you know what, just fuck him off. He's a surplus person. Let's just... And it done them no good, because I remember in the sixth form, you could just go and sit in other classes, and it was meant to be, oh, well, I'm only doing... Because I was only doing 3D design, A-level art, and pottery. I got chucked out of English literature. Oh, weird. Someone who's actually really interested in literature. No, I didn't get chucked out. I chose to leave. But it was wicked. I had it sorted. My sixth form was pretty much just art school. And but they let you go and sit in other classes, because otherwise you'd just be sitting around the sixth form area chatting up birds all the time, which is what I done. But I'd go and sit in the English class of 15 just for the lols, and it was incredible. It was like being at the zoo. Now, I don't mean that. I'm not being nasty to those kids, because ironically, when I left school, they were the people I hung around with, because of the way they were treated at school, because they were just slammed down to the bottom of society, aged 11. They actually got a little bit of... They got streetwise. They worked out, these are the kids that left 15 and started laying bricks. These are the kids that left 15 and started working out how to put felt roofs on. These are the kids who don't get out of bed today for less than 600 quid a day. Yeah, they went and learnt a trade. All the other fuckers, I'm going to go and do a teaching degree. Oh, well done. How's that working out for you? Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Anyway, so I'd go and sit in their classes, and it was so funny. I remember this teacher once, and I'm sitting in there with all these kids from like 15. They're in group 15. And I had just gone for the laurels. I went to hang around with the fun kids, not the kids in 1 who were just going, Miss Vart! It was a quiet Vart. Much Arno Caprascia Tutu. I know who that is. I know that little doggy. Linda Hunter, you lovely... I won't call you a bastard, because it seems wrong for a lady. You lovely beauty. Linda says, boom shakalaka, have it. Yesterday, the initial super chat was stopped and my card temporarily suspended. That's sorry, Linda. I've stained your financial reputation. Possible suspicious activity. It's been a while. Well, in that case, maybe I gifted you a little bit of a walk on the wild side, perhaps. Nice one for that, Linda. I'm glad you didn't lose any money there, because that would have been ridiculous. Thanks for trying again. Oh, maybe you were motivated to try again because you got a little thrill from a bit of suspicious activity. I certainly have. Nice one, Linda. That's Machano Kaprasha Tutu. The grift has been terrible, which is fine because it tends to balance out over the month. But I just get concerned 1 month it won't, and then I'll be like that. But I think we'll be all right. We've got good people here. Hello, Snoopus. Snoopy said, yeah, same here with ear infections and allergies. What? That you had them, and then when your mother or father said, all right, you don't have to go to school, it kind of cleared up? Or maybe you're talking to someone else, but I'm kind of unsure. Let me know. Hello, Mr. MF. Nice to see you. Hello, Lee. All right, Charlie. The Cray boys on the firm, I think I just saw. Hello, John. Lulu. Casa Collins in. There he is. Hello, Steve. You all right, son? He's Rags in. Hello, Mousecat. Mousecat, if your missus is listening, we found the ring. Luckily, we didn't throw away the box of all the packing materials and all that. And I went back through it, and it was like, you got to remember FedEx go through all that stuff, and they rip it all out, and, so far, so good. They haven't stolen anything, but that's a bit off, actually. They haven't stolen anything, so that's actually credit to them, because you can imagine things coming here from England, and these people are earning $200 a month. You'd wonder why they wouldn't steal anything, but what actually a measure of the goodness of these people. Mousecat had earaches at about 6, had draining tubes put in his ears, tonsils and adenoids taken out. I miss my adenoids. I don't even know what they are. I think, so that's what Snoopy was saying. He was a sickly child as well. Okay, it's making sense now. But when I've told you this so many times, but I just love saying it. When I got sicked off school, my old man would just be leaving, and I'd be like, can I come to work with you? Because then he'd working in the foundry, and the foundry was just, it was like something from like Warhammer. I don't mean Warhammer 40k, I mean the original one. You'd go in there and there'd be these massive blokes, like bare-chested, but with like a leather. It's getting all a bit Tom and Finland homosexual, but it was very masculine, which I suppose is quite gay because they like masculinity. So, but, there'd be like one bloke would be holding these tongs. You'd never seen tongs this big. I certainly, and they were bigger than me. And that's no joke. Massive tongs, because he had to be away from the metal. And another bloke with a sledgehammer just going and sparks of molten metal, and it was like, look at them making the weapons. When I watched Lord of the Rings, it reminded me of my old man's foundry. It wasn't his. He worked there. I didn't grow up the son of a foundry owner, but it was all like that. And then over in that corner, there'd be two blokes with like these massive gloves, like big, like huge gloves, like with like a bowl of molten steel, it was bronze. They cast bronze there. And then pour that out, and it would, molten metal. That's lava, isn't it? No, I was looking at lava. And as it went in, all sparks coming out. And the smell, I can smell that place now. It was BO. It was body odor. Men didn't do all that. And I'll tell you what, men, don't wear antiperspirant. Never wear antiperspirant. If you want to wear deodorant, which is a deodorant, it's like a counterbalance, so it smells more than your BO, no problem. But if you get an antiperspirant, it's an antiperspirant. It seals up your body's way of eliminating stuff it doesn't want. Now, if you seal those holes up, where's that stuff going? And I'll tell you what, I know I'm in a hot climate. It's 36 here today. Yeah, it's lovely. It's all right under the fan, but I burnt my feet to death running around outside. I left something out then. I went out then. I was like Dustin Hoffman from 10. Remember when he sees Bo Derek and he's trying to walk across the sand and he's going... But yeah, it was metal BO and obviously smelt in bronze. And the boss of the place was XSAS. I mean, does it get any more amazing for an 8-year-old boy? And my dad didn't want me to go into the special forces. He'd go on, you go into, what was his name? Ellis and Sons was the company, I think. What was his name? Oh, I can't believe I've forgotten his name. It might come back to me in a minute. But Ed just say to me, he'd go, "Nah, do it, son. It's brilliant. Great times. Camaraderie, you know, friendship. You know, those boys, I'll do anything for those boys." And I was sitting there going, you know, when you're a young boy, you these are the things that life's about. You want a group of people that are going to, you know, look after you, that are going to, you know, be there for you. So incredible. But of course, the guilt remains that I should be at school, and then the thought that I was, you know, my psychosoma, my body was lying so that I didn't go to school, because I did have a headache, but it was a headache so that I didn't have to go to school. And as soon as I got the green light to not go, the headache went. Worth thinking about if you're ever thinking of time traveling back to your childhood days. I give out the tips that count around here. I certainly do. Did I see Aramas in? Hello, Mr. Sump. Hope you're well, sir. Lulu said, Dangerfield, because of yesterday's stream, I spent hours on Twitter reading about Musk. But Lulu, was it worth it? Same here. I was cracking up. Some of the things people are saying, incredible. Oh, that's Twitter over with then, isn't it? People are going to be able to come on here and say anything they like. Oh, yeah, terrible. What? I mean, the damage that's going to do to a platform where you say things. They're mental. Absolutely mental. They're useful idiots, aren't they? Hello, Hayden. Hoyt, nice to see you, sir. Visionary companions on the firm. I can't see who... Greetings from the Garboon class hut. Where was I with that? Oh, balls. Oh, yeah, I can't remember who said it, but someone said they watched a History Debunked video this morning and it was totally depressing. And then I think they went on to say that it was about nationalism, English nationalism being banned or something like that. That's why I stopped watching History Debunked. That's why I stopped watching Way of the World when he was on. Fucking hell, Way of the World. Boom. Those drones. Boom. Boom. It's all over. Boom. Boom. There's no point doing anything. I'd be like, yeah, all right. I've got to make dinner in a minute. I don't need this. Not saying he didn't have an important and significant role to play in waking people up, but I was well awake by then, and I thought, why am I doing this to myself? History Debunked, right? Cracking channel, will be banned without a doubt. But here's the truth. Apart from a few statistics I could have found on Google, I've learned nothing from Simon Webb. That's a fact. I've not watched a video of his and thought, wow, what, that's something, is it? No, because it's the same old stuff. I'm not taking anything away from him, and there'll be people who are 17, 18, who are just starting their Red Pill Germany. Steady on. Hello. Get that hair comb, son. Oh, snot from the nose. Hang on. I'm 50 in about a week, so easy on the actual snot out. I'm sorry if you're eating your brecon. Where's the old kitchen towel? Oh, if you weren't here, it'd be all over my crammer by now. Hang on. There she goes. Oh, guess what? They don't do that in Cambodia. They don't do this. The amount of restaurants I've done that in, and everyone's just gone. And I'm like, sorry about snotting out in public. Yeah. So I don't do it. I don't want black pills. I don't need to. I know. I get it. I get it. Grego says, I think the grift decline may relate to the erratic stream schedule. You're unbalancing people. Well, that's going to have to continue because I am trying to spend less time on the internet and work is really busy at the moment. I had 13 new products to put in the shop last week and I've still got 8. I just haven't done them because there's other things I've been doing. I can't do anything about that. Fair point, though, Grego. It's all right. It's all right. You know, I don't do this for the money, but I do so many because of the money, and I've never made a secret of that. And if it cuts down, I'll just have to do less. But I'll give it a month. Grego had annoyed. I'll give it a few months. Let's be fair. Grego had annoyed once. It died. John hated school. Yeah. Yeah, I despise the injustice of it. I just despise those people. You know why? What did he call him? It's in Seven SUBSTACK. You know, when teachers are picking on the kids that need their support the most, you can fuck off. You can absolutely fuck off. Well, Zen, that's what I was getting to. So by secondary school, I did tangent somewhat. Very unlike me. But in secondary school, you went in the morning to your form class, which was a mixture of all the different streams, which was why it was a better class. Because when you're around people who motivate you, around people who impress you, you try and keep up with them. That's certainly been my experience of life. When you're around people who are as dumb as you, well, you know, where's the inspiration? Where's the motivation? It's just like, yeah. But then after form class, so the register would be called in form class, so you're in. Then you'd go off to your double English, double history. Then you'd have lunch. Then you'd come back to form class. So as long as you went to form class twice a day, you could fuck off down the lakes and sniff Tipex and do all the good things that youth is about. It's you know, it was a good system. So by secondary school, I just remember it was quite weird. Robert Cherry, bless you, Robert. Robert Cherry one day just said to me, he went, do you want to come around my house and watch Quadrophenia? And I was like, what, on Saturday? He went, no, now. I was like, no, I've got like English. Hang on, you're in my English class. And he went, yeah, just fuck it. He goes, you went to form class, didn't you? I was like, yeah, you're in my form class. He went, yeah. He went, you don't have to go. And I was like, sweet. I just fucked off. That was the first time we used to call it wagging it. I'm sure there's other names and other ways of describing bunking off. Or some people used to say wagging the hop. And I don't know if I like that. It's almost sensual. And I don't want to be sensual when I'm walking home with Robert Cherry, especially when his name's Robert Cherry, which if you think about it, shortens to Rob Cherry. No, sensuality doesn't exist in the same sentence, nay paragraph as Rob Cherry. But yeah, once I discovered that you just didn't have to go, I just didn't go. What? Snoopy says exactly. Oh, so you were talking about that. Exactly, Chris. It started getting better after puberty. Then when I dropped out and went to work on the drill rigs, I put on a lot of muscle, mostly cleared up by 20-ish. I mean, I think it makes sense that you're sick a lot as a kid. I mean, I was particularly sickly. I was born yellow, bloodshot eyes, all my veins were up. I'll tell you what, I could have done with some of those veins a little later in life. Steady. But, you know, your body's developing. It's going to get sick. The beauty in those days was, of course, you could go to hospital and be seen within 5 minutes because we hadn't opened up as hospital service to the whole fucking world, you know. Zen Maverick says, I wasn't really ill at school. I just never went. It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent. Oh, it's interesting, Tristan. Hello, Tristan. It's interesting that you say Vart in Sparks because I watched a documentary there's a great documentary about the Sparks brothers. It might even be called the Sparks Brothers. It's about the band Sparks, which I always thought were an English band. And in the documentary, the first 10 minutes is loads of American pundits and pop stars saying, I thought Sparks were English. So I didn't feel so much of a prat, but no. I know. They're actually quite English. Hello, Daffyd. Alone here in the kitchen. I feel like something's missing. Oh, it's Dangerfield. Alone here in the... Oh, I thought that was a haiku. Anyone who comments haiku form gets 12.5 points. So just bear that in mind. Hello, Colonel Custard. I have to share this, Scrubs. My workmate just asked about plans for the weekend. He said his missus is well into the National Trust. I said, didn't they become the BNP? That's quite good. Good work. Good work. Where are we? Baz says, probably strong as an ox. Baz, it was you that put me onto that live spiritualized tune, if I remember rightly, which is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Their live mixer is whoever it is, or wherever it's been over the years. For a band that's so multi-layered, the live mixing is incredible. But Lindsay, if you're listening, I sent you that interview photographed from the Prog magazine. Imagine Spiritualized ending up in Prog magazine. It's a prog rock magazine. You know, your likes of early Genesis and Van der Graaf Generator. Bye. But I can imagine in 2022 they're struggling for prog material to write about. So the new Spiritualized album got reviewed in there. But I'll tell you what, the new song off the new album that I had months ago, thanks to my contact, is the mainline song. I mean, it harks back to Recurring. Weirdly, it's got a bit of Big City Bright Lights about it, which Pete Kember wrote. I mean, Pete Kember and Stuart Pearce, the footballer. Stuart Pearce wasn't in Spiritualized. I just need to make that clear. Pete Kember and Jason Pearce, they ended up falling out. It's your classic, in it, you know, the songwriting duo. I think it was recurring, not Playing with Fire, but one of those albums, one of them wrote all the songs on one side and the other wrote all the other songs on the other side, and they split up. Jason Pearce made Spiritualized, just one of the most successful and ultra cool English bands of all time, and Pete Kember made Spectrum, that no one likes because it's rubbish. It's really rubbish. It's the shittest bits of Spaceman 3, whereas Spiritualized is the best bits of Spaceman 3. Pete Kember must just be sitting there at home just looking at Jason Pearce's reviews that are always amazing. You know, Mads Burke, sorry, mate. Mads Bajork, who mixed 3 or 4 Spiritualized albums, as well as hundreds of other bands, said that, you know, without a pause, he said, when I asked him who was the best person to work with the most musical integrity, he went, oh, Spiritualized, just without a doubt. And I was like, yeah. I like to think that integrity, creative integrity, said something about me too, #me too, but it didn't, which is weird and quite distressing by the end of the day. But that song, what is it? And I wanted to know if you wanted to go to the city tonight, night. It's such a spiritualized song. It's like, it's gorgeous. If you like good music, if you do like good music, the new album, Everything Was Beautiful. The album before it, And Nothing Hurt. Put them together. Everything was beautiful. Nothing hurt. Quote from Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5. But off the new album, check out the mainline song. You'll be humming it. Hummers! Pinners! Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So there you go. Have I finished any of the things I've started telling you about? I use a salt stick as deodorant. It works fine and lasts for ages. Well, then I tried one of those, like, I don't know what it is. It was like some kind of crystal. not a crystal. It wasn't like, I didn't go, but it was like a natural deodorant. Nah, it didn't work. And everyone I talked to, I said, oh, I've got this deodorant. It's made out of, and it was something. And it's like just out of the ground. It's like there's no chemicals or nothing in it. And they went, it doesn't work. And everyone else who tried it was like, it doesn't work. Maybe it works for you. Maybe it's not the same thing, but just stink. The main thing is you just have to wash. Fresh body odor is not repulsive, and women love it. For millennia they've known to sniff that out and fuck it essentially. But if you let it stay there for more than 8 hours, then it grows bacteria, and bacteria stinks. So that's when it's not good. There you go. Hello, Windy. Hello, my love. Linda says, my dad was a fireman. It was fun going to work with him. We had a red car. That's a fire engine, Linda. We had a red car with a siren and a light. When he was a chief, he was on call 24/7. He even had a bat phone at home with an outdoor ringer. Outdoor ringer? No shit. Well, some shit. No, that would be an indoor ringer. In trousers ringer. Exciting stuff, eh, Linda? Amazing going to work. You wouldn't be allowed these days. No health and safety. Well, what exactly is a child? What's the problem? If having a child in a fire station is a health and safety problem, then you've got problems anyway, because you just say, oh, we're driving out now, you've got to go, it's an emergency. If you can't do that, there's something wrong with the fire station. God, I wish I was born 150 years ago. Hello, Ben. Hi to you. They don't use them out here, Jim. Jim says those are very bad. He's talking about the pore plug-in antiperspirants. Not to be crude, but like corking your lady part until you give yourself toxic shock. Yeah, ladies don't use them out here. They don't. They think it's an awful idea. I mean, they use something. I'm not too into the details of what it is, but I don't know. I'm not squeamish around lady parts, but I am squeamish around being 18 years old and watching a lady take her clothes off and having a bit of string hanging out. I'd love you got some dental floss in your knickers. Should we go back to the bar? Floppy Goose. Hello, Floppy Goose. Are you new in these parts? I don't use any deodorant and it's fine. I stopped when I looked up the ingredients. Yeah, well, not even the ingredient. Well, if you're talking about a deodorant, but so many chemicals, just spray it on to they're outdoors basically. I mean, the amount of sweat that I sweat out here, right? If I just do a little bit of manual work, like if I shift all the waters, oh damn, I've got to order some water. Give me 1 second. If I don't do it now, I'll forget and we'll be with no water tomorrow. This will only take a second. Hang on. Right, hang on. Can I order 6 waters for tomorrow, please? Done. Yeah, I mean, I sweat quite a lot, right? Because it's hot. So if I've decided to move my garden around a bit and I'm out there and it's 36 degrees like it is today, when I come in, there's water running down not just me, by the way. When I first arrived here, I met a scrub. He watches videos occasionally now. He lives in Thailand. And he used to live here. And we went out for a couple of drinks. And I said to him, you know what? I said, I like it here. I said, but I think I've done my thermostat, my human thermostat, so much damage over the years because I'm just sweating all the fucking time. And he went, have a look around. And I look around, he went, everyone's sweating all the time. He said, it's hot. He said, it's equatorial. And I was like, yeah. But I dread to think where that goes if you plug all those holes. I mean, where is all that going? Where is those toxins? Whatever it is, we've developed as a species to eject it. It's not wanted. And if you're not letting that out, I dread to think what that's doing in your body. No, thanks, man. My missus always says to me, she goes, oh, you stink. And then she jumps on me and the rest is l'histoire. Hello, Abstract Steve. Deodorant is just for spray. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I said. Deodorant is it just smells more than your sweat. But there is a little bit, there's something wrong because people then don't shower enough and they rely on it. And we all had those school teachers who walk past you and you know, no one wants that weird mix of bacterialized sweat combined with high karate. That's no. So, you know, I don't, that might be my missus. She's getting a bit needy when I'm streaming. Have you noticed? I mean, it's all good fun and that, but you know, fuck off, love. I'm busy. I can't imagine her being back from the gym. Oh no, that's her. That's my motorbike. At least she's still alive. Yes, Lulu, referring to the people moaning about Musk. It's so good, isn't it? Such a pleasure. Well, no, John, what a surprise. Okay, so Elon Musk wants to put a Neuralink software into your brains. People are crying out for a savior in this satanic earth, but he ain't our guy. No, he's not. I said yesterday he's not our guy, but he has just done something that is without doubt a win for us. Without doubt. You know, that was their space where they got to dominate the narrative, and now they can't. Now they won't. Well, time will tell to what extent it's actually free speech, but you know. Anyway, no, I'm not knocking that, Otto. I'm for sure. But for people at the start of that journey, I didn't learn much. I was like, I know. And it just depressed me. That heavy nationalism phase was one of the most depressing periods of my life, which is why I changed into a channel. That's why I made a video. This isn't a nationalist channel. I didn't want to lose my channel. I didn't want to lose my bank accounts. I just said that's not for me. Let's look at getting. Let's look at people getting a better management of their lives, better management of their problems, better management of their finances, and yeah. Let's look at. Oh, hang on. Hello, darling. Nice time at the gym. Oh, it would appear we have an entropy. I did hear the VART. Oh, thank you, darling. Oh, we got one each today, no? Lovely. How was it, Jim?
Good.
You didn't go to the gym. You didn't go, did you?
I go.
No, you didn't. I don't believe you went. Oh, did you go to the? You went to the gym. Did you do any? Did you do any exercises? Did you?
Yeah.
How many?
4.
I saw your face. There was something on your face telling me you didn't do as much exercise.
I did.
How many minutes did you actually work out for?
1 hour.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. What last chance?
1 hour.
Okay, right. 10 minutes. Right, sorry. Let me. Lovely to see you, though, darling. Always happy when you come back safe. So scared on the motorbike. Good boy. Good girl.
Good boy.
Oi!
Hey,
Less of that. Oh. Right. Sorry, people. Mr. MF says this. Many of the stories you've told from childhood through the crack diaries reminds me of my experience in a small town upstate New York. Maybe someday I could come on and we could chat about it. Well, Mr. MF, nice one for the 5 spot. Much appreciated. This is a call-in. You can come on now if you want for 10 minutes or something, if you want a little chat about that. Hello, Mr. Natras. History Debunked is a great voice, but no solutions. Well, there you go. Hello, RMF. Hope you're well. Hello, iTower. I mean, you know, I have tried to offer some solutions, and I put a video on my Telegram. If your free trade it looks like a red wave. If your free trade looks like the midterms today, like mine does and most people's does, it's because the market's crashing. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I beg you not to sell. Oh, hang on, it's gone down 15%. If I leave it like this, it's going to go down 30%. It will recover. It will recover, and it will recover, and you'll earn money. I warned you about this at the beginning. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. This has happened countless times before. Spread over 10 years, you're going to be fine. Don't panic. Don't look at it every day. Don't even look at it every month unless you're buying some stocks. When the market crashes, that's when you should be buying. This is a sale. It's a fire sale. At the moment, it's a fire sale out there. So, you know, I put a video on my Telegram. If you're a free trader, watch that video. You'll see what I mean. When I see red days, I'm like, right, I need to find some money. I need to buy some. I need to get on some of these indexes that are down 10%. Nasdaq 100's down something like 12%. Get in on it. Financial advice is for entertainment purposes. The value of your investments may go down as well as up, and all that stuff. I'm not professional. Look at that. Pags is a true man. I worked in an iron foundry called Volcanus. Yeah, that went downhill. Volcanus. I mean, I get it, but I don't take it, if you know what I mean. James is older than me. He's 50 on the 2nd. Has he got chili in it? Hang on. But I don't want to eat the paper. It's got chili in it. Oh, no. It's a little bit hot. No, Andy, without a doubt, I love seeing my friends. Yeah, cheers. Fucking hell. How?
Good.
Oh.
Good boy.
Yeah, you done me up like a kipper girl. I remember watching Jasper. Thank you, darling. Can you put some water in it, love? She is a good girl. I remember watching Jasper Carrot on telly as a kid, and he was saying that he went to an Indian and it was like it burnt his mouth out, and he said, "Quick, get me some water." And they said, "No, water's not good." And he said, "That no, water's not good. You need bread. Bread's what you need." And he said, "Fuck that! I had my head in the fish tank." I know he feels. But Andy, for sure, thank you, darling. It was Chinyang, though. No, thank you. It's too hot. It's killing me. Now my nose is watering. Where's my tissue? Thank you. No, I loved seeing my friends. If it weren't for my friends, I would never have gone to school, and I would have left at 11 and been a reprobate rather than the model citizen that I've been. Now, you might notice I'm in a rather good mood today. I don't know if that's grift withstanding. I'm in a very good mood. I got an email from someone talking about my writing. Now, I'm not going to go into the details because I'm sure you're getting very bored of it, but mind blown, absolutely mind blown. And I don't have a lot of people in my life I can talk to about my work.
I didn't know.
And so to get someone of this particular person's stature to say what he said today about my work was, I'm allowing myself to enjoy it, which is good, which is all right, isn't it? You're allowed to do that, right? So let's open the doors then. Let's do this. Hello, Mr. Telford. Hello, Mega Essex boy. What a pleasure. Robert Cherry and his mum's prosthetic boobs. I know you obviously remember Robert Cherry. Mark, how many people were in one across the board? It was like me, you, maybe Darren Butts and Sarah. It weren't a lot of us, was there? Jag? Was Jag? I know by the third or fourth year I was not in one across the board, but you know, started well. Hello, Kevin. Kevin, I hope I haven't upset you when I said to you, nice one for the memes and video clips, but not so many because I've had none from you since then, and they're excellent. Your clips are excellent. It was meant kind of part joking. I hope I didn't upset you, so that's an actual apology in case I did. Hello, Patang Yankee for Bang, bunking off. Yeah, we'd use that as well. Mr. Sump went to the roughest school in his area. Likewise, ours was called the Downs. What a syndrome. All boys school, no, fuck that. Lots of skinheads and mods when I started. So I'm guessing you started in about 82 because you've got the late 70s skinhead hangover and the mod revival, which was, well, probably about 80. I'm guessing, tell me if I'm right, Sumster. I'm guessing you started secondary school in 1980. Let's see how well I know my cultural chronology. I reckon you started secondary school in 1980. I'm giving myself a variance of 1 year either way. a decade either way. Right, let's get exactly International Health Service. Tristan! Steve, what's happening with the teeth? Daffy says up the junction, down, 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 down. The Sweeney's doing 90 because they got nowhere to go. There's some cracking lyrics in that song. I'll take her home. I'll give the dog. What is it? I'll do something and I'll give the dog a bone. Naughty. You would that'd get banned. Up the junction would get banned. Hang on. No, I'm thinking Call for Cats, aren't I? Good Lord. I want to see when Sumpster was at school. Have I missed any super chats? Got misread. I had a friend named Troy. That's a weird name, isn't it? If his surname was Ounce, it would be Golden. Yeah. I had a friend named Troy, and he was particularly good looking for a young man. Sensual. He knew it, and his chat up line to women was just smell me. They always did, and they always pulled. I'm thinking Kuros. That was the Kuros touch. But those good-looking lads at school, much like the good-looking girls at school, they peaked too early. That was the problem. And I kind of knew it at the time because, all the other girls looked like, young, they look like children. And all the other boys looked like children. And then one bloke would come in with his coiffured hair and his cheekbones and his jawbone and a slight designer stubble. And you're like, what the I didn't even have any body hair till I was like 15 and a half. And you're like, this is weird. And then, of course, by the time they're 25, it's all over. You peaked so early. And all those hot girls at school used to walk around in their what was it, Sam tracksuits? I think it was Sam. Horrible things. Ghastly somnambulist sort of. No. But, they peaked too soon. Is Billy in? Billy, I got your message on the Scrubs lifeboat. Lord knows why your emails ain't getting to me. Hayden says his mate sweats constantly all the time. On nights out, his entire shirt will be dripping. Poor bastards. Must have some sort of disposition. I can get like that out here, but luckily everyone else can. They can treat that with Botox. And have I ever told you lot that I had my migraines treated with Botox on the NHS? But the NHS only done it twice. I had to go private after that. And when the bloke that done it private rolled up his sleeves and showed me his purple arms because he relapsed on methamphetamine, and I said, yeah, but why are they purple? I've been on junk 20 years and I haven't got purple arms. He said, he did bat for the other team, to be honest. He said, yeah, because when you're mid an orgy, you don't want to be you haven't got time to sort of do it all like you junkies, all ritualized. And that. He said, you just want to get it in and, you're missing. I just said, yeah, stop and no more sticking needles in my head. Go on, jog on, son. Shocking. Right, let's get this, excuse me. Oh, Mark says that deodorant kills bacteria in the sweat. You sure antiperspirant doesn't? Maybe it does, but no, I'm just not buying it. Don't use it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just have a shower. Just don't let it sit there for too long. Yeah, there you go, Boris. All right. The smell of brute mixed with pissing sweat. Pandajit Singh VW says, I like the way you stink. Lemon Pie to Butch in Pulp Fiction. Not a film I enjoyed. I know it's contrary to public opinion. Am I? No, I'm not. Come on, it was 1980. It was. It was. Come on, Sumpster, tell us when it was. Hello, Andrew. Right. Hello, Flappy Goose. I already said hello to Flappy Goose. I've got a little burp in there. Mark says these guys all know the solutions, but they are all abhorrent. I don't know what guys you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about the deodorant now or the likes of History Debunked and War of the World. War of the World. A Freudian slush. Hello, Lumi. Back from the gym too, in the garage, chest and shoulders today. You don't need to tell us that. Every time we see you on here, we know you're a gym freak. All that weight you got on. Rags! And Mr. MF's got to get ready for work, but look forward to the chat hopefully soon. Yeah, we can do that. I'd love you to come on and tell some stories. Not a problem. Exactly that, Zeitgeist. It's not. I told you this when I first started talking. We're not traders. We don't worry about ups and downs daily. That's what traders do. This is a 10-year long-term investment. Don't go to your free trade every day. I would maybe once a month. Even just look to see when it's going down. That's a fire. That is a stock fire sale. Hello, Aramas. Right, let's open the doors. Here we go. I know it's early. This is a bit of a risk because I thought, evenings with my viewership being about 85% UK and it being about 10:30 in the morning. I'm not sure many people are going to want to come on, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a pop, and maybe there'll be a few people who want to come on. Yeah, Jaguar. So me, Mark, and Jag. Mark was 1A1. I was 1D1, which is better than 1A1 because I was one-dimensional one, whereas you were Lal. But if it were, I'll tell you what, people, if it weren't for Mark, school would have been unbearable. Me and Mark in maths, in the highest group for maths, we dug for victory using like a compass. We were at the back row and the wall was behind us. And I can't remember whether it was Mark or me. I've known Mark since he was 11. I can't remember if it was Mark or me. Funnily enough, I was talking to an old fella, well, oldish, a little bit older than me. And he said he's got no friends from his past. And I've got loads. I've really felt for him, because I love Mark. And I trust Mark with my life. Absolutely. I've said it on here before. And other friends. I lost a few during the heavy nationalist phase, but they've come back, thankfully, and they've come back red-pilled. I mean, strangely, the coof kind of made them think, hang on a minute. and all this Ukraine. That's all I said. I just said the name of the country. Channel down. But me and Mark decided to dig for victory. So we started just like making old. The joke was we were going to tunnel out. Not so funny after about a month when there was an hole about that wide in the back of the classroom and about a hand deep. Structural damage. And the thing that me and Mark done that absolutely pissed off the tutors, the class didn't care. We done nothing. All like combined sciences was the best one. We done no work all term, just fucking about, messing around, getting chucked out of the class. And then when it had come to the end of term test, 100%, the pair of us, every time. And they'd be like, and they'd give you do the test, and then you'd have to hand all your papers in. Then they'd dish out the papers to other students. Teacher reads out the answers, and another student marks your thing. And then they go, Mark, and the woman would go, 45 out of 45. And Mark wasn't like, yeah. It was like, obviously, Dangerfield, 45 out of 45. And I'll be like, I should fucking hope so. What happens when you put your finger in a flame? A, it hurts. B, you make magnesium. C, the world changes axis. And everyone else was like getting 20 out of 45. I'm like, you've got to go some to not know the basics of living. There you go, Lumi. I never thought it would happen with a girl from Clapham down on the highway, my way. Great tune, though. That and Call for Cats, amazing. You've had a whole one already? No?
We've had one.
What's that?
Yesterday.
I think I'm being lied to, people. Right, let's open the doors. Hello, SUBSTACK. Right, let's open the doors. Scores on the doors. Right, anyone wants to come in and chat? Now, listen, don't be disappointed or think I'm, shooing you. But you're going to get between 5 or 10 minutes because that way other people can get a go in. If there's not a lot of people coming in, I might give you a bit longer. But it's not a judgment on the quality of your talk. It's just me trying to somehow manage the show. I like to call it the show, the Chris Dangerfield show. I told you before, I used to walk around my bedroom with a cardboard box on my head with the screen cut out and a few buttons drawn on it. Just my own telly show to an audience of one, me. And here I am doing it again, which is interesting. Sumster, have you even told me yet? If she lies in Cambodian, is it really lying? Lord knows what that means, Linda, but I love it. Right, here we go. Link in the chat. And once I've said someone's coming in, if I off you because you've tried to come in, don't. Oh, I better get me can sorted, or otherwise we have all sorts of problems. Feel free to donate, people. This is awful. Absolutely awful. Hang on a minute. Let me sort this out. I'm putting it. I think I'm being a bit optimistic, really. I don't think people are going to join us. You've only got to be audio. You don't have to have audio and visual. I think I'm doing this right. What's going on here? What's going on here then? Danger pods connect. Wow. Right, we should be good. Not at once, please. John Francis says Dangerfield is a grifter. Yep, absolutely. 1983, so I nearly had it the first time. Why did I go back? Because the mod revival was 82. It was the skinhead thing that pulled me back. Sumster, you bastard. That's not very nice, is it? Go on. There's the link in the chat. Who's going to come in for a little conversation? I knew this was a bad idea this time of day. It doesn't matter. I'll still be able to carry on gibbering. Who saw Johnny Depp, Amber Heard live from the court yesterday when they got the psychiatrist woman in? Oh, it was absolutely damaging to Amber Heard. It was shocking. And even the cross-examination, the cross was ridiculous. It damaged Heard even more. She's psychotic. Well, she's not. And now look, before people say, hang on a minute, you've slagged off the DSM-5 and psychiatry. No, what I've slagged off is how they weaponize it. That's the difference. Mega Essex boy, how are you? Look at that. Look at the black background. You've come in here looking better than me. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. How are you, son?
Yeah, I'll do a hat for you. How's my hat go?
I don't know about that. I think there's a bit of that smile that makes me think you don't know about the hat as well. But what a setting.
I don't know about it. In my environment, it's very, very practical. So I've got like a full length wax, not like your barber jacket, like an American cowboy to the ground wax cotton jacket, matching hat. Because when you've got to go out and feed the animals, they need to be fed in all weathers. So you've got to be practical about these things. As much as you can imagine me rolling around Romford in my Kentucky shirt and my jeans and my kickers, you've got to be practical, haven't you?
I am glad that you actually explained your environment, because when you said about the hat and the full-length jacket, I thought you were talking about doing sort of high-level meth dealing in Mexico.
No, not quite. Not quite so. The only long jackets I was wearing back in the UK really were Crombies.
Crombie. Hey, I got you straight on it. Little red bit in the breast pocket there.
Sure, more for work. More for work back in the UK.
Okay. How you look very well. You're sounding very well.
I'm not too bad. Working hard, trying my best to move forward, and as much as I've made some moves, and I feel as I'm in a quite fortunate position at the moment. Just a lot of roadblocks being thrown up in front of me, a lot of hurdles. Like a lot of challenges to try and get to exactly where I want to be, and I wasn't quite expecting this part of the journey to be quite as hard as it was going to be.
No, that's understandable. I mean, for people who don't know, our Mega Essex boy is in New Zealand, and it's there's some tricky stuff going on there for sure. She's a strange one. I know. Careful what you say, obviously. But she's a strange one.
It's funny because, like, even a lot of the New Zealand community, and probably, I don't know, international community, they hear that, oh, mandates have been lifted in New Zealand and all of that kind of stuff, but they're not really telling the whole truth, because the health mandates haven't been lifted. So the doctors can't return, the nurses can't return, the old people's home carers can't return. And then my partner, who's a midwife, can't return to her role. So after 13 years of commitment to that role, and the education involved, and the love and the care for a community, and even through the start of the whole Delta bit, the bad bit, they're there, giving all the care, and then they change the fucking rules, and then my missus still ain't got a job, and then I don't mind because I'm that kind of guy.
All right.
I'm still carrying the ship, but
right.
but it hurts me to see my missus lose all that excitement for
sure.
her vocation. It wasn't a job; it was a vocation for her. Mine's a job. Fucking ain't my work, man. Bullshit. It's work. It's what makes the money. She loved her job. And she can go and get a job anywhere in town now, any of the pubs. Can you imagine the level of public exposure that she's got in those events, rather than being one-on-one midwives with a handful of women? The whole thing's just
really, really sad and interesting what you say there. So the information's being somewhat sort of, it's like a secret censorship. They're sort of focusing on what they have done, keeping quiet about what they haven't done.
Yeah,
awful. It's been a real mess. But I'm trying to look for the positives, and I think a lot of people have realised that there's a lot of tyranny in the world at the moment.
Hey, look, there's a positive, because I'm a traditional man, and that means I'm getting packed lunches and I'm getting my fucking dinner on time of an evening. So
that makes you a traditional man. That's incredible.
Yeah, look, my missus is coming. Are you going to come and say hello, babe? No? Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'd love to hear what she said about you then. Jim, I'm just going to kick you because I only have one person on at a time, because otherwise it gets complicated. Not you, Mega Essex boy. Someone else just tried to get in. Tristan, Mega Essex boy is an absolute hero in these parts.
I'll tell you about that. Like, we've all got our problems.
Oh no, we certainly have, without a doubt. So last time we talked about your drinking, you went on the long drive. That didn't pay off. How are you getting on with all that?
Yeah, things improved. Sort of like a lot from them. And what's that, babe? Yeah, here you go.
In a minute, my missus is going to start talking to me, and everyone will be watching two blokes on the screen dealing with their missus, because the missus comes first. You always have to prioritise, or you're in all sorts of trouble. I'm always like, darling, I'm dreaming.
Yeah. Hold up, babe. You can't have a lighter. I'm talking to Chris.
Yeah. No. I would never risk that. That's my day ruined. And I love her for it. Miles away from where you're sitting.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Babe, come over here and say hello to Chris.
Don't force her to do it.
No, she says she's okay. I won't force her.
My missus like that. Sometimes I can't get her off the screen, and other times she'll be like literally on her hands and knees, get behind me steady on. That sounded a little bit sensual.
My missus is normally the life and soul of the party. Yeah, I can assure you. But
it might be because this is not her environment. Do you know what I mean? She'll be coming into strangers. That's
completely
understandable.
Yeah.
So you were talking about struggles and things. I think, as I get older, I've said this plenty of times, but I was sort of sold a lie in my younger years that at some point your life is going to reach a plateau where everything's going to be all right. You're going to have an house, a wife, a kid, whatever. It's just it will suddenly, oh, now I'm living. And at nearly half a century, I've realised that's the probably the biggest lie I was sold, because it's an endless struggle. It's a struggle.
It's an endless struggle. You know, you can hope to attain, you know, certain stages of that. You know, and they may come at different points. I think it's only the lucky few that you know, if it was 10 points, attain the lucky 10. You know what I mean? So like you might get 5 or 6 of them if you're lucky. You know, you might get 3 if you're lucky. It depends on, you know, on what opportunities.
But I'm not sure.
I'm not sure whether it's about opportunities. I think it's about tenacity and hard work. I know that people can be served a really bad hand, but I also believe there's always a way out of it.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree, and I'm not sure. You know, you look at the likes of Jeff Bezos. I'm not sure that he has a great life. You know, I don't think that.
No.
When I read Felix Dennis's book, How to Get Rich, and it helped me. You know, it did. It turned me from a little eBay seller to the business that still funds my life today. But it's a really weird book because it's written like a novel. Really, it's stories. It does tell you how to do things, but there's no charts and, you know, algorithms or anything. But the last chapter, the first chapter opens with him saying, "I'm sitting in my chateau in the south of France, overlooking my private beach. I'm drinking Rothschilds." You know, and he's telling you that, and you know, Felix Dennis was banging brass and smoking crack in his 70s. You know, which whilst sounds kind of entertaining, is also signs of a certain amount of lack of peace, lack of inner peace. Yeah, there you go, trauma. But so the book opens with this scenario of this bloke. He's done it. He's made it. But the last chapter opens with him saying, you know, and he was one of the richest men in England. He's dead now. But he said, if I had a chance to do it all again, I wouldn't. He said, I just wouldn't. He said, most of my day is taken up looking after my money. He says, I've got businesses that exist just to look after different aspects of my money. He says it's more problems.
And it's not just about the financial thing, you know. The more money you get, kind of the more opportunity to play up, and do things that you might not necessarily should or would be doing because of the substances that you're using. So at some point, you've also got to come to some kind of balance within your own head there that sits within your psyche and the person that you are with the excess. And you know, the money doesn't create the happiness a lot of the time. It's the giving and the being, you know, and the being present.
No, absolutely. I was talking to a successful writer. You know, I'm not one of those, but the first bit of writing I ever sent off was to the American cannabis magazine High Times, and I got a check for $50 and a contract, and it was it was mind blowing. It was, you know, I was only like 22 or something, and nothing since then has meant as much to me as that. You know, in that field, because I don't know why, but
well, at the time, right back then, it was probably the prestigious paper being regarding that.
Well,
no,
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was just the fact that it was so unlikely. I think. I tell you what it was. It was because I fancied myself as a writer, but I had no evidence, no one had legitimated it or sort of authenticated it. And suddenly a magazine that people pay for paid me for that article. And I was like, fucking hell, you know, and you know, I've had sellout Edinburgh shows, and it's almost like everything I've achieved, and I have achieved some things I'm very proud of, but I have to take time to actually let myself enjoy them
and
but,
let you appreciate them. Without because sorry, Chris, go on.
Well, you're right, but it's almost like the journey is the more sort of fulfilling part of it. Like you said, the work is the more fulfilling part of it, building up to it. Once they've sort of said yes, or you get your 5-star review or whatever, it's like, right.
Because once you've got your 5-star review and you've done that and you've reached that pinnacle, to keep talking about it almost becomes boastful, which is crass, and nobody. Well, you know, it's nice to hear about people's achievements and such like. People don't want to hear about it going on, so everyone's patting you on the back all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and you get there, and it's like, oh, nobody wants to hear about that no more because I'm just being one of them,
Yeah. And also, it's in the past. You enjoy it for a week or something, but then it's time. You've now got to sort of.
It's about setting goals, Chris. It's about setting goals. I'm a big goal setter. Everything in my life has come through setting goals, regardless of the dysfunction. If you've got goals, and I always find if you can vocalize those goals to as many of the important people around you, so that you're putting yourself in a position of looking like a fool, looking like somebody that's always talking a game and never pulling it off.
Sure.
So if you care about how people perceive you, I believe by putting those things out there pushes you harder and harder to go and do it.
Well, when you say setting goals, I obviously understand what you mean, but so do you actually do that consciously? Do you sort of sit down with yourself, maybe a notepad, and think, right, I want this, or is it more of a sort of organic thing where you kind of know what you want to achieve? You know, what's the actual process of you setting a goal? That might be a bit abstract, actually.
No. So I'll be in a scenario wherever my last goal has brought me to. Yeah. Right. So let's say it's moving to New Zealand. Let's say it's moving to a certain town in New Zealand. Let's say it's getting a certain job in that town in New Zealand. A certain house in New Zealand. I'm not happy with that house. No, I want that house. And as much as everybody around me is going, and I'll say, no. I'll go do 50, 60 hours a week. Yeah, I'll go and get a second income. I'll go and do a little bit of skullduggery. I'll stop drinking for 6, 9 months. Yeah, like I'll make it happen. Watch there. You go and make it happen, because otherwise you look like a mug, because you've put it out there. You have to put it out there. It's kind of like old Rhonda Byrne's secrets shit, yeah, right? You've got to visualize it. You've got to name it. You've got to put it out there. No difference in writing it on your wall or telling all your close loved ones and friends around you. Same difference, otherwise, but it's higher stakes.
Yeah, I think your friends and loved ones are going to be a bit more forgiving if it doesn't happen. But if you sort of spread it out a bit, they're the ones that are going to go, wanker.
Yeah, he said he was going to do that, and he did nothing.
Yeah. That's interesting, actually. So, because I obviously do that, you know, I tell people on here what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this. You know, the novel has become a bit of a joke, but I have put a lot of work into it. But yeah, no, I think I've done that as well. But it was interesting that you mentioned moving to New Zealand, because I don't really know why I moved here. I kind of just thought I'd had enough of Soho, and I just thought I'll move out to Asia. I kind of always knew I was after I first ever went to Thailand. But
I know very clearly why I ended up here.
Go on.
Well, it was bred through 20s of doing a fair bit of travelling, like my generation did, you know, Asia, Australia, making bits and pieces, America, a lot of sailing. Used to crew on big boats all around the place. And in the early part of that, I decided like the door work weren't a thing. So I went back and become a HVAC engineer, heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Which over these ways, you've got one on the wall behind you. I can see it. You never use it.
Yeah. No, I never use it. There it is.
So heat pumps, air conditioning, that's my thing. And I knew that that's where my dough was going to lay if my travels were going to continue abroad. So I went back to college and I did all that and got out here, and that was everything. And I came back home because I was missing all my people, and it just didn't feel right being away from home. And then my dad died. He was 61, I was 30. And because I'd had all that foreign experience, it was a really easy knee-jerk reaction for me to go, right. And it was actually the last year I could get a working holiday visa for New Zealand, being age 30, up to the age of 31. I was like, right, I'm going to go do that. And then I got over here, and then I met a better skirt. And then I got, fucking job and this and that. And then before you know it, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. It's now 14 years later.
Wow.
And I'm still here. And I watched a video of my local pub the other day, Firkin in Hornchurch. Go to Firkin if anybody's watching. John Palmer will probably know where it was, the old ball. And it was West Ham playing, and my mate was down there with his phone, and he took a little video. And even the video itself was, I posted it on the Scrubs Lifeboat. I don't think people really picked up on it. But for me, having been a East London, Essex door worker, all that, fucking living there for so long, it was so intense. It was almost scary watching it on the screen. There was all these boys stellared up, coked up, muscled up, dressed up, million miles away from what I'm living now. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah. I think I'd be intimidated in my own local pub in an environment that I used to be really, really comfortable in.
I can absolutely identify with that. I would not be able to do the things I'd done in my younger years back in Dartford. No, I'm a different person.
Yeah, absolutely. You get somebody else up the fucking jaw.
Hang on, no, don't do that bit. Don't do that bit. It's been brilliant. Is that a jazz cigarette?
What do you reckon? I'm a stay high. Go to stay highs.
You know what?
Go the high functioning alcoholics.
I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to say something I've never said. I think the truth about my disdain for stay highs, because I was one. I was one for years. The junk got me out of it because you ain't buying weed when you've got gear to pay for. I think I'm just jealous. I think I'm jealous that I'm not a stay high because it's got its pros. I enjoyed it.
It just takes a little bit of commitment. Yeah, because at the moment you have that little bifter and you're all like, wow, like fucking blown. Yeah. Just keep it up. Like every 3-4 hours, have yourself a little bifter. Do it for a week. Before you know it, you've got a nice.
No, I know, I just can't. I just can't. My life doesn't have space.
Not everybody can. I am not recommending it in the slightest. Genuinely, some people can get stoned all the time. Some people can't. Don't do it. Yeah.
Well, all right, mate. Listen, look after yourself. Keep progressing. Lovely to talk to you as always. Take care.
Onwards and upwards.
See you later, man. Take care. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Amazing. What a lovely fella. What a lovely fella. Been around these parts years. Lovely to talk to him. I'm quite emotional, actually, after that chat, which is a good thing. Not necessarily a bad thing at all. All right, I'll pop the link in the chat. If anyone else wants to pop in for a little one, you saw how it worked. You see how it goes. Look at all the megas in the chat. People love you. likable bloke, though, isn't he? And look, even with those, I will call them issues, and most of my adult life has been a fucking drug-fueled mess. You have to work within those limits or whatever. Hello, Matt. We've been having some interesting conversations via email.
Morning, am I on?
You are on, yeah. You're
I'm
live
live?
and direct.
How exciting for this hour. It's not even 7 in the morning yet.
Oh my gosh, why are you up so early? What makes you wake up so early?
Work.
Oh,
I
so
like to
you're-
get out. I get up at like 5, and I do a little morning yoga when I can
Good lad.
because I can
I go to bed at
move
5.
around thanks to yoga.
Yeah,
It's
no,
amazing.
absolutely.
I was switching the tires the other day, and usually I get something in the hips or something because you're squatting, you're taking the tires off and all that stuff. And I was doing my parents' car too, and I'm like, last year I was, I'll get pains in my hips and stuff like that. This year I was just up and got them all done in under an hour, 2 cars.
Incredible. I know nothing about
I'm a
cars.
slinky and I still can't, compared to the girl on the YouTube when she does all these bending, I'm like, okay, that's nuts. Like I'm like 1/3 there, as flexible as I think you're supposed to be.
She's probably been doing it for like 30 years, and you've been doing it for how long?
Oh, 4 months.
Well, cut yourself
Not
a
every
bit
day,
of slack,
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So what from one stay high to another?
Well, former. Now, I have my reasons
Right,
for trying not to be a stay high.
Let me just inform the scrubs, if you don't mind. Me and Matt have been talking because Matt has told us on another stream before that he's a regular jazz cigarette connoisseur. I've tried to be as kind as possible there. But you have said to me in recent emails that you're thinking about knocking it on the head.
Oh, I stopped jazz cigarettes for health reasons and moved to concentrates. Just took it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't have to go outside anymore, right?
That's an incredible that's real drug user logic. Oh no, I'm having terrible problems. I'll take something that's a lot stronger, but you said what you gave your life and body with one hand, you took with the other, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure with the vaping, it's so high in THC, it became 20% THC or something like that. And I read an article because I got bad heartburn in the morning. I have stomach problems for years, but it's about 6 months. And then I read, I quit coffee in the morning, which was awful. And then I read an article about THC in the fatty tissue of your stomach. And I was like, what? I mean, that could be it. I mean, that's something I do every day. And so I thought I'd better give that a go. Plus, I live alone. And when you get baked every day, you're just too comfortable with that.
Yeah. No, I think that is one of the problems with it. It makes doing nothing pleasurable, and there's issues in life with that.
You're comfortable with being bored with yourself, and
because doing anything is fun because you've already put a filter in front of it. I remember when I used to be a stay high, I'd be watching antiques programs that like Cash in the Attic, where they go to someone's house and they go through all the stuff in their attic, then go to a boot fair, like the dullest shit you can imagine.
I can't watch those hoarding shows though, man. They're upsetting. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, they're dirty.
Because my place is like a hotel, right? It's like I don't have clutter because that's something I can't handle. I hate looking for stuff, and when you're stay high, you forget where you put things. So if you have a clean, orderly condo, it's not because I like to live cleanly. It's because I hate looking for things. So I've constructed my life around being a stay high.
No, I didn't. No,
things
I absolutely done the same.
Because I like my glasses. I have glasses in like 3 rooms. I just leave them there. So if I go in a room, there's a pair of reading glasses.
Well, okay. So you've got one in each room, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this THC thing because I've been reading a lot lately because my beans go in the soil later today, which is interesting for someone who doesn't smoke. But
I
I do
used to
love
grow it.
growing. Yeah, it's great. It's a real. I've done a lot of harvests over the years, but the problem with all this THC stuff and all that, I don't know if you've seen what is it, diamonds, and it's like the juice with the lumps in it. Is I can't remember what it's
Oh
called.
yeah. I have a wax vape pen and diamonds and juice.
That's it. It's something like that. I mean, it's all very well, but you'll see the organic growers, and they'll tell you that the problems with all these what are they called, extracts and the rosins, is you're extracting the THC, but you're losing the cannabinoids, the terpenes, the original. What you get in a flower, you don't get in the extracts.
Yeah.
And the flower, because of all the cannabinoids and the terpenes, you're getting that more complex, more natural. And when I used to smoke flower, it was wonderful, and it was a fully formed experience. When I started dabbing, I hadn't smoked weed for like 20 years, something like that. And I thought I'd give these dabs a go. And I was fucked, a match head of that shatter. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I could stay functional with shatter, and that's when maybe it's time to quit.
Right, but it was nowhere near as complex and interesting as smoking a flower from
There's something
the
to
80s.
that, yeah.
Yeah, like a land race, like a Durban Poison or an Afghani number one, not selectively bred or anything, because it had the full terpene and cannabinoid profile. And
yeah,
I think
they are getting better. They have the cartridges. They now have something called a full spectrum. So they've trying to address that, getting it all. The cheapy ones, like you talk about the cartridges, yeah, like just high in THC, right? And I think a lot of the concentrates does get some of that live terpene stuff and that juice, the goo.
Yeah,
it does get some of that stuff. Whereas but the cartridges, yeah, like just high THC or shatter, yeah, it is doesn't get the whole deal. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting. You said the word live, because I saw a thing the other day and he was talking about the live rosin, which is
live. Did I say live terpene?
That's got the lot in it, but it's it's difficult to produce and you can't.
It's not cheap though. I mean, and here in Canada, you go. I mean, especially in some cities, like there's a smoke shop or a head shop. I used to call them head shops.
Dispensary,
hot shops.
I think they're called now, are they?
They're everywhere, and they got a nice fancy display. They got cute girls behind the counter, and they know their products. It's freaking weird, man.
It's weird being our age, knowing that you'd do a few years inside for a pocket full of oregano in '82.
And the prices are comparable, especially hash is actually cheaper than what because in this part of Canada, it was hard to get weed in the early 90s. You actually it was easier to get hash. So, and it was like $20 a gram.
Wow.
So they're selling it for 10 to 15 here.
So we talked on the emails about you stopping for a month. And I said to you, if you can't stop for a month, there's a reason. And you said you reckon you can. Are you doing that?
I am.
Are you going to? You're doing that now?
I am.
So you've done a week?
No. I started this week. No.
Okay, how many days? How long have you done? Wow, so you're on it. So where are we? So the 25th, you're going to try and do it to the 25th of May.
Right at midnight. I was just trying to smoke it all so I started fresh Monday morning. Because if I wake up with the stuff, then I'm probably going to bugger that day. Because one of my favorite things, because I live alone and most of my friends are married and I've lost a few friends after divorce. I find that some dude friends, male friends you make when you're married, and I've heard this from other people, you lose some of them after you get divorced because I think they expected they had a married friend and the wife was accepting of it and all that stuff. And then as soon as they have a friend, and every time I went over to say one of the friends' house, it was always couples, right? And the last time I was there, I was on my own and I didn't really fit in.
Wow, so, how interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. You don't expect that one. My brother went through that too.
So how do you feel 2 days in? Because, your brain's really readjusting now, and you've gone from quite
it's still adjusting.
Considerable amount. to to nothing.
Definitely didn't. I'm not feeling great. There is some physical, almost malaise.
You
It's
don't
not,
look the same.
but
You don't look the same.
but it's it's probably just withdrawal, right? There's going to be a physical withdrawal for a few days. I mean, the amount I was doing.
And a psychological one. So, and a psychological one as well. You know, your brain chemistry is now going to try and readjust back to something it probably hasn't been.
And that's the idea. I need to try something new because I don't get out much. I mean, there's not a lot of. I'm almost I think I'm the same age as you, and there's not a lot to do for someone who's divorced in this part of, at least in this neighborhood. So,
are you sure?
Well, that's the thing.
Sure?
You know, I try to you have to go on these websites, these dating websites now, and I can't.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Hang on. There's loads.
I can't do it while I'm high, especially because I'm just going like, no freaking way. I'm not putting my face out on the internet with a baked brain. That's insane to me. So I'm hoping to find some sort of courage. I'm hoping for a miracle here, Danger.
Hang on. So are you hoping for a woman back in your life?
Well, eventually, people are going to start to wonder. I've been divorced for almost 4 years now.
And do you think that being a stay high, I mean, you know, I kind of use that word as a joke. Do you think that cannabis use has had an effect on you not perhaps meeting someone?
Definitely, because I'm way too comfortable with being in front of my computer and looking up the Ukraine war every time.
And too uncomfortable with the idea of going out into the world and doing things that you haven't done for a long time. Like,
yeah. To be fair, the world's a little screwy. I mean, people are just kind of getting back to going out again. So, you know, I had to work on making my house after I got built, you know, fixing up my house to sell it. And then by the time I sold it because I was flat broke. I was putting all my money to fix up the house. COVID hit. So when I sold the house, there was like nobody doing anything. So, but I figured there's no way I'm going to get out there, and women don't want someone to meet somebody who's a stay high. Probably it might be a little off-putting, you know, once you get to know somebody, you know.
No, I think it's very
smoke a little weed once in a while together is probably okay, but yeah, like I wouldn't want to meet me, you know.
No, that's a horrible thing to say, but I think what you meant was you wouldn't want to meet you as a stay high, because you know, imagine you meet her and she stays over one night, and in the morning she gets up. Would you like a cup of coffee? And you're like, yeah, hang on a minute, I've just got to get this in me. And she's going to be
I think I could probably hold off on that for
for how long?
Maybe for a morning, but yeah, like.
Yeah, but once the novelty of the new woman's over, maybe you wouldn't be able to hold off for the morning, because you know that relationships are hard work. You know, you get a lot out of them.
Talking about some weird shit or something that interests me and interests no one else. Who knows?
No, you'll be going up to her going, have you ever looked at your nose closely?
Are you going to eat that donut?
or she'll say, where are those donuts I bought? I've done a lot of them. So what would be your we'll leave the relationship bit alone for a minute. What would be your sort of ideal situation the cannabis use in the future? I mean, would you like to just sort of have a bifter at the weekend or two, or are you looking at complete abstinence, or don't you know?
I was hoping to sort of apply it the same way as I used apply logic to drinking, whereas drinking alone was a very bad thing for me. That's especially around the doors. That was bad. So that's one problem with quitting weed. It's kind of got me off cigarettes and weed and booze, which were really destructive things. You know, I was a guy who had, you know, more than once had a drink in the morning to get through the day. I was there. You know, I wasn't drinking hard liquor, thank God, but I was drinking lots of wine.
Well, hang on. So you'd wake up and you'd have
not every day. No. Like I wasn't an everyday thing, but I have done it. Like I was sometimes there. Like I can't get to this day unless I have a drink. I'm not gonna get.
What does that feel like? What does that feel
Terrible.
like to? Yeah, right. Because I know that from heroin. You know, when you're waking up and you're injecting
feel like
a
boozy,
substance into your
happy.
blood, you're fucked. Yeah, there's
And
something wrong with me.
then you're screwed your whole day because you've had that hair of the dog, and you basically, you know, you've just taken out a loan with interest with that, right? With the hair of the dog. Eventually, you're just gonna feel really rotten at the end later.
And then what happens is, you know, well, there's a way I don't feel rotten. I'll have another
You
glass
have a
of
couple
wine.
more drinks and then get a nice buzz again, and then that'll get me through, and I'll feel better. Yeah,
And that's
I
called
gotta quit that.
alcoholism.
Yeah, so it's hard to quit weed in a way because you're not like, I'm not giving up a health. Well, I guess you can mental health maybe somewhat a little, but you're not you know, when you quit smoking, you cough up a bunch of black shit right away, and you start to feel better after a couple of weeks. Whereas you quit drinking, you feel less bloated and less sick. You can feel yourself getting less sick. Yeah, you don't you know, weed is it's purely mental almost. You know, it's purely mental. There's not.
I think it's gonna take at least 6 months for your brain to get its chemistry back in order. You know, I'm guessing you've been smoking 15, 20 years or something.
It's giving up a friend who isn't a total asshole. And I don't mean give it up. You know, I think I would be okay if I had a little bit in the evening. You know, it's waking up and till I go to bed.
But you
that's
know,
a lot.
The question is with substances, what are you, because, you know, you take a substance or a behavior, but we're talking about substances, and it changes the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And
sets
you're
the tone for the
drawn
day.
to that. So yeah, but why do you want to change the way you feel? What is wrong with the way you feel without it? That's the question, isn't it?
It sets the tone for the day. It's sort of, you set your limit for the day. Every day when I start, you know, I fire up the wax vape, I've kind of set limitations for my day, right? Already. Like, I'm not going to want to do certain things. Baked out of, you know, baked. Not everything's ideal in that, when your head's
but
like
why would you want to apply limits to your life? You know, there's enough.
No. I think that's a big limit, and I do plan on going cold turkey because I want to see if the stomach thing pans out too. So there's a bit of an experiment going on here. I want to see if I go cold turkey without THC, if my stomach. So I am going for a stretch, but eventually I want to get in a place where it's evening only kind of thing. Like okay. I don't start the day off, and then invite Loon. You know, I'm baked before work. You know, at lunch. Hope no work doesn't see this.
Do you work from home? I take you work from home.
Yeah. My bed's right behind me. I roll over and I'm right at my desk.
Let me ask you this. What's the longest period in, say, the last year where you didn't leave the house? Now, going to the shop for some milk doesn't count. I'm talking about actually doing something in the outside world.
Oh, a couple.
I mean, is it? So you've done a couple of weeks indoors. I mean, that's quite.
Oh yeah.
For a social animal that humans are, that's quite a long period. And you know,
I'm an introvert. I'm not a super
I've done it.
Animal.
I wonder if you are, though. I mean, you know, I'm an extrovert, but we both got the same problem. We struggle socially. You know, it just expresses itself different.
We don't like group work. I'm struggling with that with my daughter.
But you need it,
though. Groups.
But you need it. It nourishes you. If you
it
isolate, no, it does. It absolutely does.
Well, in my job, I fix. I work in IT, and I build, maintain systems, but fix problems. And I kind of, okay, gang, how are we going to tackle this problem? Like, I prefer to go. I'll fix it. I'll go and put my head into the work, and I'll fix the problem. I very much like working like that. I mean,
wouldn't you like to, for instance, meet up with a load of mates and them all know you and you trust them and you know that they'll look out for you and maybe go boating or something?
I haven't had that for years. I mean, everyone's grown
up. Yeah, but how long have
you
been smoking weed all the time?
True.
Yeah.
We'll make a better effort in this time, but hey, you want to come over and do this? Oh, the wife's got it. I get a lot of that. And eventually you stop calling. And, I'm pretty sure I'm like, okay, am I just not likable because I'm single again or something? But no, it's just because they're busy. They have demanding families. They have a life that I used to have and I don't have anymore. I don't have that, going to doing family things and taking as a, with my wife and my daughter doing that. There was a certain part of my social life did come from that kind of thing, and that doesn't happen anymore. So
it's interesting.
At this age, it's not great to get divorced. It just isn't, unless you do have a lot of friends. But a few of my friends don't even live in the side of the continent. So
I think if you went to an NA meeting, you'd have so much in common with those people in that room. It would blow your mind. Now, I hate NA, but I love
AA's got a religious aspect to it. And
AA, yeah, but you don't buy everything in the supermarket, do you? You get what you need. So I think I'm not talking about AA. AA does me head in, but NA covers all narcotics. And the 10% that I do like about NA, which is the fellowship, the fraternity. When I walked into that meeting, when I actually finally thought, why don't you listen for a change instead of thinking you know everything because you're nearly dead?
I'm trying that.
I just thought these people. Yeah, do you remember when we tried to talk on a private stream and I couldn't get a word in edgeways? I watched it back as well. I thought these fucking stoners, they got no time for anyone else. But this time,
gotta get it all out. There's so many brilliant ideas. Just percolating.
Never getting done, but you can think about them. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm very impressed that you're 2 days in, and there's a marked difference since we last spoke. Really, I don't know what that means, but I think you're doing a good thing, and you get to choose, don't you? Like, if you don't like it, you go back to smoking weed. If you're happier doing that, you can do that.
At this point, it's like a different high. It's been for 4 years.
Natural high.
What's normal like? Let's try that. It's cheaper.
So there you go. Good luck, Matt.
Okay.
You got me.
All right. Next time we talk. I'll talk about how Jesus has got me through.
There you go.
Just joking.
I know you were.
All right.
Take care, man. Look after yourself.
Cheers. Thanks, Chris.
Hello, man. What another lovely bloke. Incredible. Well, that's amazing. He's been doing that all day, every day, and he's decided to take some time off. I wonder how that'll turn out. And like I said at the end, by the way, I'm not being judgmental of people who use drugs. I mean, it's me here you're talking to, and I still use drugs. As you know, I fucked up on the diazepam not so long ago. It's just that me and Matt have been talking about that stuff via email. He's talked about it before on here, and I thought that'd be the interesting angle. I've done an hour and 3/4. The grift has been appalling. That's all right. I think maybe we're getting to the end of the month and everyone's skint. There is a recession on. I've really enjoyed this. I don't know where the time went, but I have to go. It's getting dark. I've got to book my birthday holiday, and good Lord, I still haven't done it. I've got to sort out taxis. I've got to sort out the hotel. I've got to sort out the landlord's coming to paint the house. That's already booked in. So, good Lord, I'm going to get on with all that. Let's get a bit of music out. Let's. I know what we'll do. We'll have a bit of nostalgia. I've had an absolutely wonderful stream. I've really enjoyed it. I woke up in a cracking mood. I'm still in a cracking mood. It was lovely to talk to Mega Essex Boy. It was lovely to talk to Matt. It was lovely to see what all of you lot were saying in the chat. Whoa. Calm yourself, boy. Steady. I want to thank Rags and Steve for looking after the place. I want to thank Mega Essex Boy Matt for coming on and being honest and very interesting. And I want to thank all of you lot for continuing to come to these streams. I knew it was an early one. Look after yourselves. Bless you all. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Vart! I just got a donation. Nice one, Linda Hunter. Have it. Thank you, Linda. Much appreciated. Oh, Vart. Good Lord. Matt has just said, it's tax season, Chris. No doubt the grift sucks. There you go. I didn't know that. It's all right. It's all right. Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you, Matt, for that entropy donation there. I've queued up the music, so it'll take about 5 minutes for me to put that on the screen. I hope you're all right with that. Look after yourselves, people. And Vart, don't ask, don't get. Frenchie's dropped a $5 in. Entropy says holiday fun. Bless you, Frenchie. Very kind. Yeah, look, enjoy the rest of your day. Look how dark I feel like Mega Essex boy now. I need to get the house in New Zealand. The wife that sounded like an absolute salt. I like that voice. Steady. Tristan would love to come on stream and chat. Oh yeah, I'll be doing about 2. I'm going to be doing, look, this is how it works for the next whatever time. It's going to be 3 chill streams, 2 memes and clip streams, and 2 call-ins every week. So it'll be those 3 mixed up a bit. Then there's a bit of something for everyone, or something. I don't know. I just don't want it to be the same every day because different people like different things. Anyway, here's a little bit of music for you all. Take care. Bless you all. I will see you tomorrow. If the missus goes to bed early tonight and I manage to get 7 SUBSTACKs written, I will. I might do a whispering chill stream tonight. We'll see. Take care, people. This is Mandom. Fancy that. Boom. Let me know you've got audio, please.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a time. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you. A world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. The dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in man.
So nice to hear the old classic, isn't it? Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe tonight, but probably tomorrow.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land.
Did I thank Rads and Steve? I hope I did. If I didn't, nice one, Rads and Steve, for keeping this crowd in order. Yeah, that key change is something else, isn't it? The fade out's a bit vicious, though, isn't it? I only just noticed it then. Look after yourselves, people. Bless you all. Keep your eyes out later. We'll see. Ta-ta. Hoi.